Hey there, Rivermen fans and hockey fans joining us. I'm Jason Ruff. Welcome to our first episode of our Peoria Rivermen Dry Dock podcast. It's the podcast where we sit down with Rivermen, both past and present, talk to them about the recent 40th championship season here in Peoria, and of course, what their plans are in the off season as they put the ship in dry dock, so to speak, in the off season. Our first guest is a longtime Rivermen fan favorite, not once, but now twice retired, had a big critical goal in Game 4, and was the first person to receive the President's Cup from Rivermen captain Alec Hageman. Mike Gurtler joins us. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Looks like you still got your T-shirt on. My first question has to be, has that T-shirt come off of your body much at all in the last couple of weeks?
The original one that we had in the locker room is being preserved with all the championship smells on it. So I've gotten another one to be able to wear around because I'm going to keep that other one just the way it is.
Certainly. So, and you've had a chance to go around with Alec Hageman a lot with the President's Cup, going to see sponsors and friends of the Peoria Rivermen, taking it out into the community. How has that been, taking the cup out into to see the Peoria faithful and to see their eyes light up when you bring a championship and have them get to hold and touch the cup and have pictures taken with it?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. For the first little bit before a lot of the guys left, even Cody and Zach Wilkie and I just went to random restaurants to eat, and we brought it with us. And we see our loyal fans a lot, obviously, and they follow, go to all the games. But it was kind of cool to see people come up to the trophy and be like, man, 20 years ago we used to go, we were at that game, 20 years ago or 22 years ago when they won. We don't go now, but that's so cool. So it was cool to see your non-traditional hockey fans that had a memory back in the day, or goes to show how big of a hockey town Peoria really is.
Oh, certainly so. And you've been around this community for quite a while, not only during your playing days, but also I guess you'd call it your first retirement. You were still around raising a family and whatnot. But you have one of the more interesting stories of many guys on this Rivermen team have great stories, but you have a fascinating one. I remember for about a good half to two-thirds of the season, there was always the rumbling that, Mike Gurtler might come back. If Mike Gurtler could come back, oh my goodness, this team would be so much better. The fans would love it, blah, blah, blah. But it was always like that pipe dream. It'd be nice if he could come back. He'd be a great addition, but it probably won't happen. Then all of a sudden we get the call, Mike Gurtler's back. So tell us the story. How did those discussions with John Guitardell happen? What made you decide to want to come back? Why now? Why this team?
I got a couple calls from Guy throughout the season. And when they came, the time wasn't right. I was coaching. I was in the middle of the season. I have my 2-year-old son, Jack, as well. So the timing was just never really there. And then when I got that last call from Guy, we were at a tournament in St. Louis. It was the last tournament my U16 team had. I was actually sitting with ex-Riverman Ben Ostroba. He was visiting us at the hotel. So, that time when the phone rang, even before I answered, I'm like, you know what, if this is the call I think it is, I think this might be the right time to do it. And then, the parents that were there, they're all supportive. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. And, a guy hadn't played in 3 years. I'm going to be so out of shape. But, right from the get-go, we had a plan, Guy and I, that, I just had to be ready for playoffs. We were going to get me there and all that. So got home from that tournament, sort of told Guy I'm going to take this week, the following week after the call, to just skate with my U16 team with equipment on, because I haven't worn my equipment in 3 years. But so did that, and then jumped right into that Sunday game.
Oh my goodness.
So
talk about a first game back. Obviously you have your young son Jack with you. You have your youth team sitting in the stands. They're all coming out to support you. And you score I don't want to say a dirty goal, but it was a goal right in front, as you always are. It's like your patented thing. You sit in front of the net, you get the goals, whether it goes in off your stick, your body, whatever. You get one right in front, everyone goes nuts. How memorable was that to be able to do that at that point, not only for your son, but for your youth hockey team as well, who you obviously, we've talked a bunch of times during the season, you always tell them, go in front of the net. Good things
Yeah.
happen. Well, case in point, Mike Gurtler.
Yeah. No, it was that game. I was definitely just trying to feel everything out, get my legs back, my hands, and the timing of stuff. And, a lot of that is a little bit easier when you just stand in front of the net. You don't have to move. And, JM, I remember, made a great pass over and just dropped down to a knee, and it went 5 holes. So it was great. Good feeling to do it in front of, my team and obviously my son, and a bit of a storybook start to the, storybook finish, I guess you could speak.
Exactly. So I remember David Minion, writer for the Peoria Journal-Star here, wrote a wonderful piece about you and your son, Jack. How special was it to just share that moment? There's a wonderful picture out there that we have in the photo archive of you holding Jack after that game. How special was that to be able to share not only that moment in that game, but also that environment with obviously the family atmosphere that John Cuccidell has in that locker room? How special was that to share that moment with him?
No, it was great. Like as the article says, I was really hoping to play in front of him, and it just didn't work out. But he was obsessed with hockey even before that, even coming to the rink when I was coaching the youth team. I think he thinks he owns the Civic Center now. So, but even before, Guy was like, "I'll give you days off if you need to be with Jack, or you bring Jack to the rink. Whatever. Jack can be here, do this." So everything was in place to make sure that, this opportunity was going to work for me, and then, obviously do whatever I could to help the team. So, but he loves it. I'm going to have to get him there again next year and to tell him that I'm not playing, but he'll probably be running around the same way he did last year.
Certainly. So you may have to be a season ticket holder at some point here.
Yeah.
But we talked a couple of times, just briefly, you and I, about the team itself. And you told me something interesting. You said that you had a sense that this team had the potential to be a championship caliber team. What was that it factor that you just felt with that group? And when did you really feel it? Was it just looking afar, or was it something you noticed when you stepped into the locker room?
Well, I'd been to a few games before I come back, and you could tell, as an ex-player, you can kind of tell. You see things, the way they move the puck, the way they skate, the goalies, obviously. But when I got into that locker room the first time, and you get to meet all the guys and kind of get a feel. Guy's always done a good job in the past of having a good locker room. He didn't care if you were Wayne Gretzky. If you didn't fit the mold of the team, he'd ship you out on Monday. Didn't matter. So, for me to come in out of nowhere and these guys to just accept me to come in, even in their mind, like, oh, this guy hasn't played in 3 years. Like, what can he really, what can he do? But you could tell we didn't have any of those guys. It was just a good feeling. Like I said, if I didn't think they had a chance, I wouldn't have, not say wasted my time, but like maybe not have come back out to do it. But there was just a really good feeling from the start that, this team was going to be something special, especially with the group of guys in that room.
So for all of our either non-baseball fans or non-Cubs fans, I apologize in advance for what I'm about to say here. For the Cubs fans out there, you will get what I'm saying. And Mike, I got to be honest here. For the longest time, ever since really, started interacting, I always pictured you as the David Ross-esque kind of guy, that old hand on the tiller who comes in to help provide a little bit of elder statesman-esque seasoning a little bit, maybe keep some of the younger guys' nerves in check, but also brings a ton of wealth and experience that can be used in a postseason situation. And plus is just a fantastic guy to just talk to, whether that's in the locker room or about life, hockey, whatever. And I hate to say, brother, or I guess I'd love to say, you kind of fit that mold to a T just in the interactions that we had.
Yeah.
And you also had that kind of playoff story.
Yeah.
Before I get to that one, I got to ask, there is obviously, everyone who's a Cubs fan knows the David Ross story of him. I think it was talking down Anthony Rizzo right before Game 7 of the World Series in 2016. I think Rizzo was saying something like he was in a glass case of emotion. Was there any incident like that, either during the finals or in the playoffs, where one or two of the younger guys was just all kind of wound up and you had to settle a couple of the guys down? It's like, hey, guys, just a game. Go out, play our game. We'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember anything specific, but, we had that first game in Quad City where we did not play well. I mean, I think everybody knew that. Even the fans could see that. It was no secret. But it's one of those things that we get to, we got a good tongue thrashing after the game in the locker room. And, we kind of closed the door and had a little players only meeting after that one where it's the second round. We get to go home for 2 games now. Like, it's hockey, you're going to lose games. Guy has his way of coaching, and his way of coaching will always pull the best out of someone, whether he's screaming at them or, whatever it might be. But he's done it from day one to now since I've known him. So he doesn't change. Right. And it works. So I think our big message was, he's not going to change. He's going to yell at us when we don't play well. We know that, we're mature guys to understand it. So it's on us to, right the ship. He can't put the skates on. Cody was injured, so he can't play. It's the 18, 20 guys that are on the ice and playing that have to figure it out. So we had a little meeting there, and then, I think I had a little bit more presence on the bench just because Guy will yell, but for the right reasons. But it's just kind of, again, he's going to do it. There's no reason to get upset. He's going to yell. It's just get out there and do better your next shift. Really, it's what it comes down to. So, but then really just in the locker room, I'm a pretty vocal guy. So I think, I had me and the young guy, Zach Wilkie, who likes to shout and scream as well. So, it used to be me and Ben Ostroba, and now it's, Wilkes, played his part with that too pretty well. So, but yeah, even it goes to like, even in practices, like if we knew practices weren't going well, me and Wilkie would look at each other and just be like, hey, we just got to start screaming out here and be loud. And like, because if Guy hears us that we're interacting and we're into practice, it might take a little bit off the burden if we're not actually skating well. So there's ins and outs of, realizing things. And, but it was just like a great group of guys. You had JM, who, when JM talks, the Yale communication comes out, and I think some guys need a translator to understand what he was actually saying, but everybody had a role, and I think everybody did it perfect.
Well, what would you expect out of someone who went to Yale, right?
Exactly. Oh yeah. When he talked, everybody listened. So
absolutely. And the Rivermen did rally in that series, get 2 big wins against their rival, the Quad City Storm. You go to the finals. You have a tough loss in game 3 after you go up 2-0. Game 4 comes. Peoria finds themselves down 2-0 in the second period. You get the critical goal. Again, this is why I always compare you to David Ross. David Ross got the big home run in game 7 to kind of really light the fire under the Cubs and really get them going. Because if you see the old catcher getting a home run, then now everyone's thinking, all right, I got to get a home run now. They see you get a goal right in front of the net. And we had talked, you and I had talked like privately all the time. It was like, you're going to get that goal. It's going to be right in front of the net. It's going to be like a big goal in overtime or whatnot. And sure enough, it was. How critical do you think that goal was at that point in that hockey game? Because up until that point, I think it's safe to say things were not going in Peoria's favor at that point.
Yeah. Obviously, the goal on the ice, I think, obviously shifted it, because it's like, this team has scored 5 goals in a period before. So like, we know we can do that. But I think the actual shift started in between that period. Obviously we're down, and when you're down, you have a lot of guys that are, we got to go do this. We got to, that's what you want. You got your leaders that do that. And then finally, a guy that I don't think said a word in the locker room all year stood up and just Dale Dion and said, enough talking about it. Like, enough. Like, we just need to go out there and do it. Like, enough talking. And everybody, when he spoke, was kind of like, wow, because he doesn't speak much. And when he spoke, everybody just kind of perked up. So I think the shift started then when Dale spoke in the room, and then obviously getting that goal and just doing whatever I can to help the team and win. And, then you got your other guys like Marcel that are going to snipe that little pocket corner, and, Ernie shooting it and Jimmer going to the net. So, just for me to be able to be a part of that, give them a little something. So, the other guys would take on the other role and do the rest.
Certainly. So that's why hockey is a great team game. Everyone has a role. Everything builds on each other moving up. Going to that overtime goal, 66 seconds into the extra session, Ernst with the shot, Pietrowski on the deflection. Take us through what you saw from Mike Gurtler's perspective in that moment, the seconds before and the seconds after that puck goes in and the Peoria Rivermen are President's Cup champions.
Well, all game I was telling Ernie, just shoot the puck, because that goalie played well, but let in some questionable goals on shots from weird angles. So all game, I just kept telling Ernie, shoot the puck, just shoot the puck. Like, don't turn down a shot. Yeah. And then, sure enough, he gets it on the wall and just turns and fires it. And whatever the slightest deflection JM had, it went in. And then, I think I was over the boards before the puck even hit the back of the net. That's just knew it was going in. So, but after that, to see Hags, someone that I went to battle with for many years, went to multiple championships, it was just kind of like, we finally did it, finally got it done for Peoria. And it's a lot of memories already in the last 2-3 weeks, just from the celebrations and everything. But no, it was a great moment, great way to cap off my career.
Did Alec tell you that he was going to give you the cup first, or is there any indication that you were going to be the first guy to get the cup after him, or was that the moment?
Everybody knows the sort of tradition that goes with passing along the trophy in hockey. But I was in no means ready to skate up there. But as soon as Hags was looking to hand it, a bunch of guys started pushing me right up to the front. So it was good. It was nice. I actually got to skate it and see my family was standing straight ahead. So, it's a moment that I'll never forget.
Now, we kind of touched on this earlier before we went on air, but I got to ask this for the folks at home. I'm sure curious. Has Jack had a bowl of cereal out of the President's Cup yet?
Not yet, but I think he spent more time with that thing than a lot of players have. So he's enjoying his time with it. I think we need to take it to a full-on cleaner before I let him eat anything out of that trophy. But no, he's enjoying it. He loves it. But everybody around here, even me and Cody are planning on getting the trophy here soon and just going to random places, just showing up. So it's been fun. It's great for Peoria, and it's good to finally bring one home.
When did it hit you in your mind that you were going to be able to retire as a champion? When did it finally settle in that you did it again with Hack? You did it. You're going to be able to retire a champion.
I think, during all the celebrations, that kind of gets lost. Going out, our trip we took as a team, even coming back. The past few weeks, Cody and I just been relaxing. He had his surgery, and I think it's sort of settling now because I'm like, all right, what am I going to do for work? So that sort of thing starts setting in. So I think now it's kind of like, I look around. I got T-shirts. I got the pictures. I got the blue jersey. It's things like that where I'm like, all right, this is going to be a cool memory that not many people get to say they've done before.
And also, Mike, you got to ask, now that you are for the second time retired, what is the plan for Rivermen legend Mike Gurtler moving forward, not only in this offseason but moving forward in retirement? What's the next step in your journey, my friend?
Not sure, to be honest. I think, this summer I help Hags and Guy at Guy's camps, plan on coaching the youth team again. Just trying to find that right job now, or maybe wait till February for a call from Guy. We'll see. But
time out of retirement.
Yeah, see if I can put it off till that. I'd make a career out of just playing 3 months a year, but it's easier on the body. But I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to take this summer and put a lot of time into my son and get him involved. He's starting soccer and stuff. He skates now. So do a lot of that because I know I missed a few weekends with him here, but I kind of take it as it is and we'll figure it out here soon.
That's fantastic. And of course, one of the new things the Rivermen are doing this summer is Hot Champ Summer. So we're encouraging fans to take pictures of themselves with their Rivermen swag. You got your Rivermen swag going on, and join the summer with the hashtag Hot Champ Summer. You've been doing that for a while. I was wondering, maybe you might be getting a call up from the Peoria Chiefs, because when the Rivermen went to the baseball game, man, you zinged it in there, and they just lost some. They need some pitching right now. So maybe we'll get the call up.
Yeah, I'm in. I'll come in as a middle reliever and throw a few. I actually wanted to throw a little harder, but the mound was fresh. I couldn't dig in and push. I started to slide, and I'm like, I just got to. I have to at least get it there. I can't skip it or anything.
Mike, you're not making excuses on me now, are you, bud?
That one a little bit. I told the guys I was going to throw it as hard as I could, but I started to slide. And then panic set in. I had to get it there.
Well, Eric Levine went before you, so I think he loosened up the dirt a little too much. I think that's what it was.
Or was that, the loose dirt? That had to be
the loose dirt. I think
yeah.
yeah.
I'll call Dozier Park.
Call Dozier and tell him, hey, hey, put me up. Well, Dustin Fitzpatrick, PA guy for the Peoria Rivermen, he does PA there as well, so he probably can get you in.
Yeah, he's got some connections.
Oh, certainly so. Well, Mike, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. Thank you so much, not only for everything you have done for the Peoria Rivermen, but for the Peoria hockey community as well. Obviously, selfishly, I hope we have you back with the Rivermen next year to come out of retirement for the third time, for the second or third time. But if this is the end of the career, my friend, it's been a privilege just to be able to share a small part of it with you. We hope to see you around Carver Arena, and we thank you so much for joining us here on the Dry Dock Podcast.
Thank you, Ruffer.
See you soon, Mike. Have a good one.
Yep.
And happy Memorial Day, too.
Yes, you too.